Previously on Bollocks.
Bollocks, or in Stuart Baxter's case, the dog's bollocks. That's what we say in England when someone's doing extraordinarily well. Stuart Baxter, Kaiser Chiefs, 3-0 win last night. How do you feel?
Not bad, Neal, thank you. Not bad. No, a win's always a nice way to help smooth things out as you're working. You know, it makes the wind blow at your back and not in your face. So we're all okay this morning.
Yeah, Stuart, it's quite phenomenal what's happened. I started growing a beard in November, and I thought I'll shave it when Kaiser Chiefs lose. Unfortunately, my face is now quite hairy. We're struggling to know what to do with it. It's ugly and it's awful, but you just don't seem to lose a game at the moment, mate. You don't have to be, necessarily playing Barcelona or Bayern Munich type football, and yet you blew Bloemfontein Celtic, a very good Bloemfontein Celtic side, I thought, last night. You blew them away 3-0. How are you doing this? Oh, we lost him. Right, so Stuart Baxter 3-0 last night. I'm just tweeting his first couple of lines there, but in case you guys didn't hear it. Stuart Baxter said to me earlier when we were talking that, they probably played about 20 minutes of good football last night. He also said that given the way that Bernard Parker and Knowledge Masona finished last night, if they could finish like that all the time, they'd be winning comfortably every week. Stuart, are you back?
Yes, I'm back.
Great stuff, mate. Sorry, we lost you there. Stuart, you said to me earlier, and you said to the TV audience last night, that there's a lot of things that Kaiser Chiefs could do better, and yet, there you are, well clear in the league. Has this got anything to do with the style of play you've introduced to South African football since your arrival? Unprecedented success, a league title, first foreign manager to do it in his first year in the PSL. What have you done to Kaiser Chiefs to make them basically unbeatable over the last couple of months? Well, we keep losing Stuart, don't we? We'll get back to him again. I mean, when Stuart Baxter arrived here, right, a couple of years ago, he came. One of the newspapers, The Star, said that his CV was not right. A lot of people saying, can Stuart Baxter do better than Vladimir Vimosevic, the guy who ironically is coming back to Orlando Pirates? Stuart, Scotsman, English-born, coached a few small clubs in England, coached in Scandinavia and places like that. Obviously a former Bafana coach 10 years ago now. A man who's always had his eye on Killer and Pella as well. He was going to be Celtic's technical director at one point and was looking at Impala, and he went over to have a trial. Now he's got Killer Impala back, but the great irony of that is that Killer Impala was on the bench last night. He did come on. I saw him make a sundown sign when the own goal went in. It was quite funny. But with Bernard Parker, now 10 goals, his cracking left footer last night off that Nkata attempted drop kick, bicycle kick, it left us in a situation where he's got three great players up front. And Carter, who was roundly booed at the start of the season. Stuart stuck with him. The Zimbabwean Kingston Carter is now scoring goals for fun, scored in both the African Champions League preliminary round games against Black Africa from Namibia. A comfortable win for Kaiser Chiefs.
Well, I'm dialing Stuart on a different line.
Thanks, Comfort. That's Comfort, my producer, trying to get hold of Stuart Baxter on a better line. We have spoken twice to Stuart. Stuart.
Yeah, thanks, Neil. Yeah, the Gremlins are not leaving you alone this morning.
Yeah, that's right. As long as they don't hit you on the field, mate, Gremlins won't matter. Stuart, is there any way you could explain to us in a couple of sentences how you've managed to make Kaiser Chiefs the powerhouse that they are over the past 2 years?
I think it's difficult to say that, Neil, without sounding like I'm blowing hot air up my own backside, really.
Yeah.
But I think if I'm trying to give a sort of a picture of what I wanted to do when I came, it was that I wanted to maximise what we had from the technical side, and make that try and hurt people instead of sometimes hurting yourself, and overplay it and being a bit cosmetic. And I think at the same time, you like to think there are certain things that we can improve on. I think we as a country, a continent. And that's maybe a few of those are the structural things and the mental things, and we tend to take it for granted in Europe, talking about digging in and winning a game ugly, and that's not really in the language of Africa, you know.
No,
And
that's right.
And I think the players have become better at doing that. They sometimes play excellent football, and if we don't play excellent football, it's not okay. Well, let's lie down and die. You know, if we're not playing, then we're all going to dig in, and we're all going to make sure that we give ourselves the best chance of taking points from even this game when we're playing at our best. Luckily, we've been playing well, but the times that we back onto, and I think that just gives us that little bit of extra confidence, you know, a little bit of extra belief that we can, even though we go a goal down, we can still come back and take points.
Yeah, that's right. It's clear that's exactly what's happened to you. Stuart, I mean, you've seen clubs, just before you came here, Sundowns were in a similar position to you, Mamelodi Sundowns under Johan Neerskens. He wasn't a bad player and has been a reasonable coach. That they managed to lose that big lead that they had. What are you saying to your players after a game like last night where it wasn't the best performance ever from Chiefs, but a great 3-0 win against a good Bloemfontein Celtic side? What do you say to them afterwards in terms of, you know, all the hype around them, everyone's saying, oh, you're 9 points clear of Sundowns, they've got 2 games in hand, but it doesn't matter. How do you keep them playing with that, the hunger and aggression, particularly Willard Katsande, who must be the most improved player in South Africa, or Zimbabwe and South Africa over the last couple of months?
Yeah.
How do you keep him firing like that?
No, I mean, to be brutally honest, Neal, after the game, there was no throwing things around in the dressing room and laughing and joking. It was pretty down to earth because I didn't dig them out, but I mean I made them well aware. I think that, you know, that the performance we can do a lot better. There's lots of things we can do better. Delighted with the result, but we should all be thinking that we can do better than that. And I think that's the way I'm going to try and keep it. And big leads have been blown before, and they will be blown again in the future. And the only way that you can make sure that you look in the mirror at the end of the season, you can look at that face without throwing up, is the fact that you make sure that every game, every kick of the ball is the best that you can give. And if you do that, then you can't do any more. And if other teams do fantastically so much better, then so be it. But we shouldn't make their job easier by being big time Charlies or being carried away with what is a cosmetic lead, you know. So we're just going to keep on plugging away, and see where that takes us.
Absolutely, mate. Listen, what struck me particularly last night was the ability of both Bernard Parker and Knowledge Masona, who are 2 of the best strikers in Southern Africa, to put away 2 quite astonishing efforts. I think you put that on YouTube, you could be looking at football from anywhere in the world. Do you have any particular way of Stuart, do you have any particular way of encouraging strikers, you know, to put the ball away like that? It seems to be South Africa's greatest problem, putting the ball in the back of the net.
It is.
Yeah.
Well, I think, no, you're dead right, Neal. And I mean, I don't have any patience. No, I don't. I mean, we do our work the way that we work, and I mean, I try and take as much pressure as you can. You try to make it as little drama around the finishing, and try and calm people down and have a technique of finishing instead of always having that attitude that we've got to burst the back of the net, you know. And so we work on that. But I mean, we also have been guilty of not taking chances, Neal. So I mean, I'd be the last one to claim that I've suddenly got the secrets of eternal youth there. You know, I think we have to do our work the same as anybody else. I think Bernard and Knowledge are working very hard at their game, and it's no coincidence that they score goals like that.
Yeah, Stuart, your next, I mean, the PSL is just unbelievable what you've done since November the 5th when you lost at Ajax. You've barely conceded 5 goals. You've scored loads. Then we come to the Champions League. I've been looking quite carefully at that in the last couple of weeks. You've got the 3 times out of 4 Mozambican champions to come, and that will be followed by either the Congo champions or Dynamos from Zimbabwe, who are the Kaizer Chiefs of Zimbabwe in effect. How do you feel about the impact that the African Champions League will have on you? Going down to Durban to play that game against the Mozambicans. Do you think you'll be able to cope with both the PSL and the African Champions League at the same time? Are you worried about it?
Yeah, good question. No, it's a concern. Absolutely. I mean, I think, you know, when people I'm looking at teams that have gone into let's say the Europa League in England, Fulham or with Swansea, and suddenly they're swanning around the bottom of the league. You know, well there are reasons for that, and the reasons are that maybe they've not dealt with the whole programme in its total. They've not dealt with it so well. So yeah, there's concerns, but we're just going to look at every game as being vital to us. You know, the Black Leopards game in the Nedbank is going to be vital to us in a different way to the CAF and a different way to ABSA, but they're all vital. We're going to just try and make sure that the squad approaches it in the right way. We do all the right things, recuperation and the preparation, and again, just see how far it takes us, because it is a hectic programme, but we shouldn't feel sorry for ourselves, because if you don't want to do that, then go and play somewhere in the third division. You know, that's a lot that we've taken upon ourselves. So I mean, we'll run it out as best we can, Neil, and I think we're all looking forward to it. And the road. What really worries me most, Neil, is that when you're out on these African adventures, that we've already seen that it's fraught with banana skins and minefields and all sorts. Now, yes. I'm not talking literally, but we really have seen already that refereeing is questionable. You know, there's all sorts of antics to upset you. So I just hope it's decided on the football field. That's my wish, that we'll put up with all the travelling and all the barracking and stuff like that, but I just hope it's decided on the football field.
Absolutely, mate. I mean, we saw what happened with you. I'm sure you spoke to Roger about what happened to him at TV Mozambique.
Yeah.
Listen, mate, if you can cope with the Nedbank, the African Champions League, and the PSL simultaneously with Mamelodi Sundowns trying to catch up with those two games in hand, then you're a better man than anyone else at the moment. Great stuff, Stuart. Always great to talk to you, mate. And
Thanks,
another
Neil.
great win last night. Well done. Thanks, Stuart.
Thanks a lot, Neil. Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers, Stuart. Hey, Comfort. Stuart Baxter, always available to us. Great bloke. And I didn't think he'd do this. By the end of the season, last year he won the Nedbank and League double. This season he could have the Nedbank, the PSL, and even the African Champions League. But it's going to be tough. African Champions League, just to point out again, after they disposed of the Mozambique champions in the first round proper, having got rid of the Namibian champions in the preliminary round, they've then got Zimbabwe or Congo champions. Zimbabwe's Dynamos would be a cracker, wouldn't it? Can you imagine the crowds home and away for Dynamos?
Yeah.
7 million reputed fans in Zimbabwe for Dynamos, 15 million reputed fans for Amakosi in South Africa. Would be a classic second round encounter, and the winner goes to the group stages against all those Egyptians and places like that. Great stuff, Comfort. Stuart Baxter, great stuff. Very hard for Orlando Pirates fans like Comfort, my producer, to listen to all that. But I'm sorry, mate. I can't get hold of your manager. He's somewhere between Belgrade and Johannesburg. Vladimir Vomosevic, where are you?
Visual Radio.
Radio like you've never seen it before.
Balls.co.za